Tom Holland was reported to have continued shaping his career both on and off the screen, with outlets highlighting how the actor, widely recognized for his starring roles in Marvel Studios' Spider-Man trilogy and set to appear in Christopher Nolan's upcoming adaptation of the Odyssey, had been steadily expanding his efforts into independent ventures far beyond Hollywood. And those following his rise noted that although he was firmly in the spotlight as one of the most bankable young stars of his generation, he was also working hard behind the scenes on projects that reflected personal battles, family commitments, and long-term goals unrelated to acting, as last October he had officially launched his own brand of non-alcoholic beer called BERO, telling the public that the idea came after his decision to stop drinking and to be open about his struggles with alcoholism, explaining that he wanted to create a drink that was both enjoyable and reflective of a healthier lifestyle, and the brand quickly drew attention as fans connected it to his candid revelations about a difficult chapter of his life, while more recently he became the face of LEGO's new promotional initiative titled Never Stop Playing, a campaign designed to encourage adults to retain their sense of childlike creativity and fun, and in this project Holland did not appear alone, since his brothers also joined him, presenting the campaign as a family effort, which allowed him to use his platform to spread a message about imagination and playfulness extending into adulthood. And while speaking about this campaign, Holland surprised many by revealing that his ambitions were shifting once again toward a new area, this time education, since he shared publicly that he was preparing plans to establish a school in London that would be free to attend yet able to rival any private school in the country, with the actor describing himself as an ambitious person who had always carried multiple goals outside his career in film, telling Lad Bible that his ultimate vision was to build a school equipped with the finest facilities London could offer, ensuring that it would be entirely free for students while still competing with the top private institutions in terms of quality and resources, and he went on to describe this as a lifelong dream, adding that while the plan remained in its early stages he already envisioned it as a school designed specifically for children who otherwise might not be able to afford private education in the city. And reports made clear that he was working closely with the Brothers Trust, a charitable organization founded by his parents Nicky and Dominic Holland, which he also operated alongside his three younger brothers Sam, Harry, and Paddy, and the family-run charity was expected to play a central role in turning his vision into reality, with Holland fully committed to making education accessible to those in need, and it was around the same time that he made another revelation during interviews tied to the LEGO campaign, as he admitted for the first time publicly that he had been diagnosed with ADHD in addition to dyslexia, explaining to IGN that he had faced his own struggles while moving through London's education system, saying candidly that he found certain challenges intimidating, especially when confronted with a blank canvas, which he said sometimes felt overwhelming because of his ADHD, and he noted that such struggles also extended into his work as an actor when developing new characters, adding that moments of doubt or intimidation often came alongside opportunities for creativity, and while discussing the short film he had made in collaboration with LEGO he remarked that both children and adults needed activities that encouraged creativity, forced them to think differently, and sometimes pushed them to stray from conventional instructions, saying that the act of experimenting, improvising, and reimagining promoted healthy creativity, which he considered vital for both young people and adults alike. And he argued that the more society embraced such opportunities the better it would be for individual development, and his statements during this interview drew attention because it was the first time he had publicly revealed his ADHD diagnosis, though it was not the first time he had mentioned his dyslexia, since he had previously spoken in 2021 about the challenges it created for him as a child, noting that he had begun attending a private school at the age of 7 in order to receive targeted support with reading and writing, and these revelations about his personal history were seen as directly connected to his interest in building a new school, since his experiences of learning difficulties, combined with the advantages he had received from specialized education, appeared to inspire his drive to provide a high-quality institution that would be free for children who otherwise could not access it, and while he did not present it as a direct motivation, the overlap between his struggles and his ambitions made the timing of his announcement especially striking, and his willingness to share such vulnerable details about himself also reinforced the image of an actor who was using his platform not only to entertain but also to shape discussions around health, learning, and opportunity. And in interviews Holland reiterated that he saw the school as part of a larger legacy he wanted to leave behind. one that went beyond his film career, and he continued to describe himself as ambitious with a clear sense of long-term goals, which suggested that his vision was not a passing idea but a carefully thought-out plan he intended to pursue over years with the help of his family's charity, and those around him noted that his family ties remained central to nearly all his endeavors, whether through the brothers' trust, his involvement in the Lego campaign alongside his brothers, or his shared history of managing both challenges and successes together, and fans were quick to react positively to his announcements, praising him for addressing alcoholism through the launch of BERO, for embracing imagination through Lego, and for pursuing education reform through his school project. And as coverage of his statement spread, commentators emphasized how unusual it was for someone still in his 20s to be working on such a diverse array of ventures, showing that Holland's ambitions stretched far beyond his acting career and into areas that touched health, creativity, and education, and his comments about ADHD and dyslexia further highlighted how his personal experiences continued to shape his decisions, making his goals more relatable and authentic to many who had gone through similar struggles. And while he remained a leading man in Hollywood, his off-screen work increasingly defined another side of his identity, one that was committed to change and to helping others. And throughout the interviews he gave during this period, Holland's tone was consistently described as candid, open, and determined, leaving little doubt that he intended to see his vision of a free private school realized. And while there was no timeline yet for when the project would begin construction or open, the commitment he expressed made clear that this was more than an abstract dream but a personal mission he considered central to his future. And his fans, as well as those connected to education reform, were said to be watching closely to see how the plan would unfold, and though many recognized the long process ahead, the mere fact that one of the world's most famous actors was using his platform to tackle such a cause was seen as both inspiring and noteworthy, and the alignment of his charitable, creative, and personal revelations painted a picture of a young star determined to leave a meaningful mark on the world beyond cinema. And through every statement he gave during this period, Tom Holland made it clear that his life was not defined solely by Spider-Man or even by the Odyssey, but by the lasting difference he hoped to make in the areas of wellness, imagination, and education, which together formed the foundation of his broader legacy. And as his story continued to unfold, the world waited to see what shape his ambitious plans would take in the years to come, while remembering the openness and passion with which he first shared them. Subscribe now for more.